Once again, I welcome everybody to tonight's broadcast. Like I said, our topic is it's not difficult to have a great marriage. I know some people will say in their minds, what's this guy talking about? It's tough to have a great marriage. But honestly speaking, the reason why it could be tough is because we violate principles that make it easy to build fantastic relationships. But we're going to cover all of that tonight. Our topic, again, for those who are just joining us, is it is not difficult to have a great marriage. Even if you don't believe it or if you don't understand the topic, would you just believe it? You see, because what we believe has a way of shaping our experience. So from the outset, would you just say to yourself, even if I'm in a tough place, it is not difficult to build a great marriage. I will learn how to do it and things will turn out easy for me. But this is the starting point. We are struggling with marriage. And I'm talking now about the whole world. And I'm going to share some data with us that would buttress what I am saying. We are struggling with marriage. Let's look at some data together. According to the American Psychological Association, about 40 to 50% of marriages in the US end in divorce. About 40 to 50% of the marriages in the US end up in divorce or divorce, one you prefer. How about our good old Africa? How about Nigeria? As of 2023, Nigeria's divorce rate was reported at 2.9%, equating to approximately 1.8 divorces per 1,000 people. This rate places Nigeria among the countries with the higher divorce rates globally, ranking 11th out of 26 countries in a comparative study. That is Nigeria. Okay, that is Nigeria. Now, this is what I found out. You can easily say that the divorce rates in Africa or in Nigeria is lower than that of the United States. Yes, and some other countries of the world. But then, in a comparative study of 26 countries with high divorce rates, Nigeria still ranks 11th out of those 26 countries with high divorce rates. Now, the reason why our rate may not be as high as some other countries is because in Africa, there is a lot of stigma when it comes to divorce. And of course, because of financial reliance, okay, of women and some men on their abusive partners. So many endure their unhealthy marriage, and this has now led to an astronomical increase or rise in the case of intimate partner violence. And this is what I'm saying. Even though you may not see a lot of divorce in Africa or in Nigeria as much as maybe the Western world, what you will see is a lot of people enduring their marriages. And that is the reason why we have a lot of domestic violence, okay, in Africa, in Nigeria especially, because in this part of the world, we endure instead of packing out, instead of moving away, because somehow in the society there's just something wrong with you when your marriage breaks down. So because of that stigma, and because a lot of people are not empowered enough to stand on their own, especially women, they endure their marriages, and a lot of them, as a matter of fact, just before I came live tonight, I just read another report just today in Minna, Niger State, a man beating his wife to death. But what does the data say? It says that 1 in 3 Nigerian women experiences violence from an intimate partner. 1 in 3 of Nigerian women. Data says that in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, spousal abuse accounted for nearly half of the 8,342 reported cases of abuse of abuse and related violence in Abuja, our federal capital territory. Okay, this is massive. This is enormous. Okay, that's about almost 4,000 plus, okay, cases of spousal abuse in the FCT alone. Look at this other data. Between September and December 2024, 26 women were killed and 5 were disfigured due to domestic violence. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are struggling. That's the truth. There's something we need to know that we don't know. And it was because of some of this, information that just kept flying my way that I said to myself, we need to have this conversation. And I'm going to encourage you as I speak tonight, please take out your writing materials, take notes on one side, and then please put down your questions so that at the end of my presentation, if you have questions, you can present your questions together. If you have, something you want to share, you can put it in the comments at that time and we can have a robust conversation together. Like I said just now, between September and December 2024, 26 women were killed and 5 were disfigured due to domestic violence. Now, I know quite a number of my listeners, quite a number of my followers are in the city of Lagos. What's the data in the city of Lagos? The Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency reports an average of 300 new cases of domestic violence, or rather domestic and sexual violence monthly. Now, this is huge. 300 cases every month, new cases of domestic violence in the state of Lagos alone. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are struggling. That's the truth. As far as this marriage thing is concerned, it's either there are things we need to know that we don't know, or we are violating the principles that we know. But a lot of people are struggling. I've got more information to share with you. Listen to this. In January 2025, Chioma Unwana was set ablaze by her husband over allegations of infidelity in Anambra State. Success Izeko, a pregnant woman, was allegedly killed by her husband in Edo State. All of this in the month of January 2025. Okay, in Nasarawa State, Salome Adaidu, a 24-year-old, fresh graduate, was killed by her fiance. This is huge. Things are happening. And like we said just before now, in the state of Lagos alone, okay, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency reports an average of 300 new cases. Not an average of 300 cases per month. No, new cases every month of domestic violence. And the question I asked myself is, why are we struggling? Why are we struggling in marriage? The answer is simple. It is because many people are unfit for marriage, because they are not prepared for the twists and turns of life, let alone the demands of married life. And so I sat down and I said to myself, okay, you've got to come up with a list. What are those things that are responsible for the struggle that people have in marriage? And I'm looking at just about 5 of them. I like lists of 5. So I noted at least 5 reasons why people are struggling in marriage, why we have this high divorce rates in the Western world, high cases of domestic violence in Africa, okay, and especially in Nigeria. We're struggling with marriage, and these are 5 reasons I was able to put together or pen down. The first is unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations. When I say unrealistic expectations, I'm talking about unrealistic expectations of marriage, unrealistic expectations of a fellow human. Some men think that their wife is supposed to be the all in all. In other words, she's supposed to cook for me, she's supposed to care for me, she's supposed to take care of the children and all of that. And that's too much to expect from one person. On the other hand, some women think the moment I get married, it is my husband's duty to carry my load, to be everything. No. As a valuable individual, one human being is not enough to be your friend, to be everything to you. And so we put so much pressure, okay, on ourselves. You need to understand you need more than your spouse for you to have a normal life. You need more than your husband. You need more than your wife. I'm not talking about in intimacy. I'm saying beyond the intimacy you have with your spouse, you need friends, you need family members, you need a support system, okay? The contribution of all of these people is what ensures that you have a great life. But when you put all of that expectation on one person, you build your life around one person, you are demanding of that person what that person was not designed to give to you. And sometimes some people or people think the moment I'm married, all my problems are over. The moment I'm married, I'm not supposed to have issues anymore. The moment I'm married, and you are expecting too much from marriage. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people struggle. Unrealistic expectation. The second reason I discovered is emotional immaturity. Emotional immaturity. And this emotional immaturity finds expression in selfishness, in entitlement, and ingratitude. Ingratitude. A lot of people who are, emotionally immature, they are selfish in love, selfish in their relationship. Every time they think in marriage, they only think about their needs, what they are there to get, what the other person is to do for me. Okay, and that selfishness leads them to entitlement. So they expect the other person to serve them. He's supposed to pay my bills, or she's supposed to take care of me emotionally. She's supposed to take care of the children, take care of the house. And entitlement will breed ingratitude. So when the wife cooks and serves the husband is not grateful because as far as he's concerned, that is what she's supposed to be doing. When the man is responsible financially, the woman is not grateful because she feels entitled. As the husband, that is what he is supposed to be doing. So we have emotional immaturity. Some people cannot even cope with disagreement. Okay, some men, it manifests in anger. But the real problem is they are so small in their minds that they cannot be argued with. They cannot be confronted. Okay, confronted. They cannot have conversations with them contrary to their own perspective to the issues. And there are women also, the moment you take a stand, they are too immature to understand that the fact that somebody has a divergent view or a different opinion does not mean that the person does not love me. Emotional immaturity. It leads to the next one. Okay, now this is deeper. Psycho-emotional difficulties. When you see somebody display emotional immaturity over a long period of time, it may not just be immaturity, it may be deeper. It may be psycho-emotional difficulties. Now I'm talking insecurity, anxiety, isolation, poor communication. These are all signs of a psycho-emotional difficulty. Now watch this. That you have such difficulties does not mean they should define your life. These are issues you need to resolve before you enter marriage, or if you're already married and you become aware that you have these issues, you've got to learn to deal with them headlong. I'm talking about issues or reasons why we struggle in marriage. We've talked about unrealistic expectations, emotional immaturity. Now we're looking at psycho-emotional difficulties. Some people, it is isolation. The moment they get married, they want to isolate their spouse from their friends, from the rest of the family. Okay, the moment the guy or the lady wants to have connection with other people, this other person interprets it as abandonment. Okay, so she is isolated or he is isolated, and the moment they get married, they want you to isolate too. Now, the person who does not have that problem, it becomes tension between the two of them. He wants to hang out with his friends. And ladies need to understand this. Okay, you make it look like he's abandoning you, but the real problem is because you don't have friends or you don't want to be friendly, and then you believe your spouse must be a reflection of you. Let me say something right here. A lot of times it is opposites that attract. Okay, listen to this. Opposites attract. But even though opposites attract, it is what we have in common that brings us together. I need you to follow what I'm saying. When you look at the other person, a lot of times what brings you to that person is that you see a reflection of you in that person. Yet, opposites attract. What does that mean? Over time, you will find out that over and above the things that we have in common, this person is totally different from me. And as they get comfortable with you, they will begin to demonstrate their uniqueness, their difference. If you are not mature, if you are not secure, there will be a problem. Because now you thought, oh, we have everything in common, and now you begin to see differences. But you need to understand that the differences were there. As a matter of fact, the differences were part of what attracted you. You just were deluded, or you were distracted by the things that you have in common, because opposites attract. And this is what we're saying. A quiet guy talks with, a talkative lady. Now, most quiet people can be very insightful. They can be very thoughtful. Now, the fact that this person is talkative does not mean the person is not thoughtful. So it's a reflection of the thoughtfulness that brings you to the person. Sometimes religious values, moral values that you have in common brings you together. Now, over time, the quiet person wants to be quiet. The talkative person wants to talk, and there's tension. If there's emotional immaturity, if there's psycho-emotional difficulties in the relationship, the marriage will struggle. It leads us to the fourth reason why we struggle in marriage, and that is indiscipline. Indiscipline. When you look at the list, you would see that these things are growing, in gravity. Indiscipline. We're talking about a lack of self-control, which leads to infidelity or violence. Lack of self-control, which leads to infidelity or violence. Let me deal with violence. When it comes to violence, there's verbal abuse and there is anger issues. A lot of times, and this is not 100%, but a lot of times you may see women, and because women talk more than men do ordinarily, so you may see a woman display more of verbal abuse or verbal violence against the man, and the man responds with physical violence, physical abuse. You see, but these demonstrations are all what? A lack of self-control. It's indiscipline. And it's the same thing for some men. You are in love with a woman, you have intimacy with a woman. It does not mean when you see other women, you may not be attracted to them. But when you lack discipline, you will act on your attraction. And you don't do that. You don't do that. People who don't control themselves eventually will be incarcerated, literally or otherwise. But indiscipline is the reason why we have a lot of the struggle that we have in our marriages. The reason why a man refuses to stay with his wife, even though he made a promise on his wedding day. He swore a note on his wedding day. But indiscipline in the life of a man, indiscipline in the life of a woman will not help her, or will lead her to be unfaithful to her marriage vows or to his marriage vows. And of course, the last one, which is the crux for a lot of people, the reason why a lot of people struggle in their marriage, or the reason why we have issues in our marriages, is financial dependence. Financial dependence. A lot of, especially in this part of the world, this affects women a lot. A lot of women are dependent on their husbands for their financial sustenance. This breeds insecurity and traps a lot of people in toxic relationships. Some women, it's not because they don't want to call the man's bluff. It's not because they don't want to say, put their foot down. It's not because they don't want to say no. It is because they cannot, because the guy is controlling the money. Now, my conversation tonight is with both single and married people. So if you're single, single lady especially, listening to me, see, part of being fit for marriage is being financially independent. We are not saying you will not enjoy your husband's money, but put yourself in a position to make your own money, so that when you submit to your husband, you are truly submitting, not that you don't have a choice. It's real power when you are the one holding yourself back. I like the way somebody described it. If a woman wants to travel and the husband says, no, I don't want you to go at this time, and she says, okay, if you say so, I submit to you, my husband. See, it is submission. If she could buy the ticket, she could afford the trip, and then she says, I'm not going. See, but if she needs him to pay for the trip and he refuses to pay, she really is not in submission. She's trapped. Financial dependence is the reason why a lot of people struggle in their marriage. And this is what we're trying to say. Even when the husband is not oppressing you, you will struggle with insecurity when you always have to ask him for money. And sometimes it happens to ladies. Okay, the lady has the money or the man is in a tough place. You're just insecure. And the moment you are insecure, you will hear the wrong things. The husband will say, "Good morning." You will hear something else. Okay, insecurity is like a translator. Somebody speaks normal English to you, you will be hearing aggressive languages. And it is because you are insecure. Now, the good news I brought tonight, my message tonight is that it is not difficult to have a great marriage. In spite of all that we have discussed or what we have described here tonight, it is not difficult to have a great marriage. Why do I say so? Because the most important piece of the puzzle is fitness. Okay? The most important piece of the marriage puzzle is fitness. And here I go again with my simple equations. Now, this one is very simple and straight to the point. I am fit plus you are fit multiplied by we fit each other equals bliss. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it takes to have a great marriage. I want you to consider it with me very slowly. I am fit plus you are fit multiplied by we fit each other equals bliss. An imbalance in this equation is the root of most marital challenges. So it is either I am fit is married to you are not fit, or I am fit is married to you are fit, but we are not fit for each other, or I am not fit, you are not fit, and we are not fit for each other. And this is what we're trying to say. Two wholesome people are not necessarily fit for marriage. Okay? You need to find the person that fits you. That's what I'm saying. You have to find that person that fits you. First, you have to be fit. Then you have to locate somebody who is fit. And that fit person must fit you, because not all fit persons fit you. And not all persons are fit. The fact that the person has a job, the person is a graduate, the person has a car, does not mean the person is mature enough for marriage. And this is what I'm trying to say. If you see a blissful marriage, this is the factor that is in place. The man is fit, the woman is fit, and they are fit for each other. So as we begin to wind down tonight, I have 4 suggestions that I want to share with you. Okay? You've got to be fit. Find a person who is fit, and then the two of you must fit each other. You see, we all have weaknesses, we all have shortcomings. I like to say it this way, that limitations or shortcomings are like noses. Everybody has one. Okay? Everybody, like we say in Lagos, everybody has scrum. But the person you are looking for is the person whose scrum you were designed for. Okay? The person who's crazy you are designed for. You must be fit, you must be whole, and then look for that person who is also fit and who fits you. The moment that is in place, then you are going to have a blissful marriage. That is the reason why I said it is not difficult to have a good marriage. To have a great marriage. Maybe we should go back. Somebody wants to take notes. Somebody wants to look at it again. Let's consider that equation. All right, very simple, but it is the secret. I am fit plus you are fit multiplied by we fit each other equals bliss. You see, when two fit people fit each other, no matter where they start from in life, they will go high, they will go far. You see, it's not the absence of money, it's not the presence of challenges that robs your marriage of joy. It is the lack of fitness. Okay? Either a person is not fit or the two of you don't fit each other. It is the reason why we struggle. You see, that guy that is beating his wife, perhaps, he's unfit to start with. And maybe he married an unfit person, or most of the time, the two of them don't fit each other. So I have 4 suggestions, and then I'm going to wrap up tonight. This is the first one. Heal before you deal. Heal before you deal. What am I saying? Get all the spiritual and professional help that you need before you get married. And even if you are married, if you know there is a challenge, get all the help that you need. I stumbled on a data recently that really inspired me. It says that a study in the Journal of Family Psychology found that couples who participated in premarital counseling were 31% less likely to divorce compared to those who did not. Think about that. Just by getting help before you get married. It's amazing how that we spend so much on hall, spend so much on food, spend so much on what you're going to wear, spend so much on the house, so many things, and the least investment is in premarital counseling. Most of the time when singles are about to get married, there's a question we ask them all the time. My wife is a professional counselor. And most of the time she will meet with couples and she will ask them, how many books have you read about marriage? Most of the time, the answer is none. And it's amazing. Some of them will say one, some two. Think about it. Yet, before you became a lawyer, you spent 5 years studying books on law. Before you became a medical doctor, you spent a minimum of 6 years studying books that relate to medicine. Before you became an accountant, about 4 years. And for many people, then there is a postgraduate degree, there's a master's degree, there's a PhD for you to be who you are today. Now look at your marriage and ask yourself, how much of investment have you made as far as marriage is concerned? Then what makes you think you will succeed at it? If you have invested more in your first degree than you have invested in your marriage. See, it's not the devil. It's not magic. If people have a great marriage, it's because of investment. And for singles listening to me, that is what this season of singleness is for. Singleness is not a season where you are desperately trying to get rid of the stigma of being single. I keep saying to people, singleness is not a disease. It is a season where you invest in yourself so that you can become fit for marriage. That you are 38 does not mean you are fit for marriage. No. Time is going is not the reason to get married. And I like the way somebody said it. The person said, if you don't have time to do it right, you will have time to do it over. What am I saying to you tonight? Identify your struggle and get all the help you can. Sit down, evaluate yourself. Everybody has a shortcoming. What is mine? If I go into the table right now, we keep saying that, what are you bringing to the table? It's not only positive things you're bringing to the table. We all have baggages, we all have challenges, we all have issues. What are yours? Identify them. Stop living in denial. And the moment you identify them, engage. Okay? Get help. Read books. If it's a spiritual problem, go for spiritual solutions. If it's a psycho-emotional problem, go for psycho-emotional solutions. See a counselor. See a therapist. By all means, get in front of the problem. And then as you engage with people, be mindful of your shortcomings and make sure they don't sabotage you. Let me give you a personal example. I was born choleric. I'm strong. I'm a go-getter. I'm positive, But the flip side, the weaknesses of a choleric sometimes could be emotional insensitivity. So over the years, because I know this is where I struggle, I have a tendency in a bid to achieve whatever I want to achieve, to use people, to be insensitive to people. So I first empower sensitive people around me. There is nothing I do that I don't run by a team. Okay, what do you think about this? And sometimes when I do that, people feel, why is he asking me questions? It is because I know myself. I can be impulsive. So when I'm going to make any decision, I make sure I give it time. Some of you would have heard me say, your first idea is not your best idea. I came up with such principles because I know I have a tendency to run with my first idea only to find out that there was a better way. So sometimes I would deliberately delay myself before acting on an idea just to make sure that this is the best course of action. And then there's something I do. No matter how far I have gone in a direction, the moment I find out that this is the wrong direction, I am going to turn back. Okay? I'm going to turn back. I'm going to change direction once I know the truth. I don't violate my conscience, no matter what it is that I'm doing, no matter who is involved. Why? I know myself. My opinion is not prophecy. I am human. Okay, if you are insecure, then when something sounds negative, don't act on it immediately, because it may be your filter. If you have anger issues, put measures in place. Make yourself accountable. Okay? In this part of the world, we spiritualize a lot of problems. I can tell you for a fact, not all problems are spiritual problems. So after you have prayed about it, see a professional. We're not, strong on therapy in this part of the world, but a lot of people need therapy. That's the truth. A lot of people need therapy. Get help. In the minimum, read books that deal with whatever the issue is that you are dealing with. Don't wish it away. Don't pretend as if that's not you. And let me tell you this for a fact. Our weaknesses don't necessarily leave us. We only subdue them as we mature. That's the truth. We subdue them as we mature. So a person, for example, who struggled with alcohol will come up with measures. Such a person is not the one that takes an appointment in a bar. Okay, every other person can go to a bar and nothing will happen. But you know yourself. So as you engage with people, you take responsibility for your shortcomings. That's my first suggestion tonight. Heal before you deal. My second suggestion is become your best. Become your best. What do I mean? Don't stop learning. Don't stop learning. Don't stop growing. Okay? If you don't stop learning, you will not stop growing. So don't stop learning and you will not stop growing. Listen, that is how you maintain attraction. I need all the married people to listen to this now. When you get into a relationship with somebody, and for some of us who've been married for 5 years, for 10 years, see, your spouse knows you, knows your strength, knows your weaknesses, and sometimes the very thing they were attracted to before now has become normal. So what do? Invest in learning so that you can continue to grow. See, as long as you are growing, your spouse will continue to be attracted to you. But don't be that woman, don't be that man who just feels you are stuck with me, we are married. No. Get rid of the boredom in your relationship. Keep growing, keep learning, keep becoming. Have a life. Don't build your life around your spouse. Okay? Don't do that. There must be something new to talk about. There must be something you are learning that the other person does not know. That is what makes the conversation interesting. Okay? Remember, it's been said that you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So I beg you, don't be an old dog. Stay young forever. And what is it that we know about young people? It is that they are curious, they are inquisitive, they are always exploring, and they are always learning. And for as long as we are doing that, we will maintain our attraction. Okay, so become your best. Suggestion number 3, this is very important. Marry your friend. Marry your friend. Now, what do I mean by that? Marry someone who shares your values. Marry someone who likes you a lot. Marry someone who likes talking with you, who likes hanging out with you. Listen, marry someone who agrees with you most of the time. And let me say this one. Marry somebody whose body you like and whose soul you love. This is important. I was talking to my wife recently, and I said to her, I love you. She said, yes. So, but I need you to know, I like you a lot. And there are two different things. You see, love is a choice. Okay? Love is a choice. And it's possible for you to love someone you don't like. But what I'm saying to you is make sure that you just don't love the person you marry, that you like the person you marry. Of course, that's for singles. For those of us who are married, when you find out that you really don't like your spouse anymore, that's possible. What do? Have conversations. There must be something the person is doing that you don't like. There must be something you want the person to do that the person is not doing. Okay? And just before you sit somebody down to make a list or to tell the person what you don't like or what the person is doing that you don't like, you ask yourself, what am I doing that this person does not like? And then, what can I do to inspire this person to start doing the things that I want him to do or that I want her to do. Let me give you a very practical example. There is a married woman, they've been married for a while. Like we say in Nigeria, see finish has entered. So the husband is not helping in the house anymore. He's not doing his household chores anymore, blah, 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 blah. Now, it's easy for the woman to say, you know what, if you can help around the house, okay, I will be happy. I would really like if you do that. But then the woman now says to herself, what can I do to inspire him? This is what I've found out. Any woman that invests in intimacy, okay, becomes, you know what I was going to say? I was going to say becomes a witch, but I need you to understand what I'm saying. You see, when you invest in intimacy with your husband, there is nothing you need him to do that he will not do. Listen, that is the secret of the side chick. Okay? That's the secret of the side chick. The side chick invests in one and one thing only: intimacy. Emotional connection, especially physical touch. Okay? So you want your husband to throw away the trash, you want him to clean around the house, you want him to pick the kids from school, you want him to cook, anything. Ask yourself, what is the seed I'm going to sow? And let's flip the script. The same thing for us men. You want your wife to be available to you. You want your wife to be creative, as far as intimacy is concerned. Why don't you ask yourself, what can I do? You see, it goes both ways. Whatever a man sows, he shall reap. It does not matter who goes first. If you are not getting the right response from your spouse, ask yourself, what can I do to provoke this response? Find out your husband or find out your wife's love language and become an expert at speaking it. If your wife loves gifts, then come up with a better way of giving her gifts, and you will inspire the reaction that you want from her. And let me say this to ladies: when a man is doing things for you, don't just acknowledge it, okay? Demonstrate the acknowledgement. A lot of times, it's not about what we do. It is about how you respond to it. That, sometimes you just say thank you. No, don't just say thank you. Let it be obvious that you are really excited. If you are not very, very excited, pretend as if you are. And then in casual conversation, you can steer the man's heart into the direction of what you really want, and he'll begin to do what you want. But the point here is marry your friend. Okay, after the kids have grown up and left the house, after you guys have gotten to where you are going to, some of us right now, you want to build a house, you want to buy a car, you want to do this, do that. There comes a time where you do all of those things. Listen, what is going to be left is friendship. So you want to make sure you marry your friend. I'm saying marry someone who shares your values. There will be less arguments in your marriage. Marry someone you like a lot, someone you like talking to, someone you like hanging out with. Marry someone who agrees with you. If you are dating or you're in courtship right now and you guys are always arguing, it may be better to review the relationship. A broken courtship is better than a broken marriage. See, because in marriage, you will have a lot of conversations. So if you don't like talking to this person, now watch this. Everybody is talkative. It is just that some of us don't like talking to everybody. Some people are gifted when it comes to talking, so they talk a lot, they talk with everybody. But the most quiet of persons is talkative when they are with people they like a lot. So you want to make sure that you marry that person. When you guys are together, you talk a lot. When the person says, I'm quiet, I don't like talking. No. You've not found the right person, okay? Marry somebody whose body you like and whose soul you love. Why? Because that body will not stay the same forever. But the soul can continue to appreciate, can continue to grow. And finally tonight, my fourth suggestion to you is embrace forgiveness. Embrace forgiveness. It has been said that when two people walk and never clash, one of them is a scammer. Let me say it again. When two people walk and never clash, one of them is a scammer. What are we saying? Conflicts, okay, are inevitable in relationships. When people are very close to you, they will step on your toes. So you have to embrace forgiveness. For singles, that person you want to marry, don't just say, I love him a lot. Okay, I love her a lot. Tell yourself, I'm willing to forgive you a lot, because the person will get on your nerves a lot. You see, in marriage, conflicts come in cycles. Okay? Conflicts come in cycles. So don't let them take you by surprise. And I've said this to people, I'm going to say it again. The bliss in marriage is on the other side of conflict. Okay? The bliss in marriage is always on the other side of conflict. So be prepared to forgive your spouse over and over again. As a matter of fact, I tell people, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't complain about everything, okay? Let some things go. Use some of those little things to practice forgiveness. You are in public, your spouse is talking, and the person said something that just, hurt you a little bit. It's not a big deal. Let it go. Don't talk about it. Just forgive. Why? Because there will be big issues to forgive. Those are the 4 suggestions I have tonight. If we're really going to build great marriages, then these are the 4 things again. Heal before you deal. Become your best. In other words, don't stop learning, don't stop growing. Number 3, marry your friend, that person you like a lot, that person whose soul you love, that person who likes you a lot, that person you love to talk to, you love to spend time with. Marry your friend and embrace forgiveness. Embrace forgiveness. I have a bonus for singles. This is for singles. Never marry a person capable of shocking you negatively. I'll say it again, slowly this time around. Never marry a person capable of shocking you negatively. The Bible says that by their fruit you will know them. So, consider patterns, not potentials. As you build friendships with people, even in courtship, don't be distracted by emotions. Pay attention to patterns. Patterns are prophecies. And what do we mean? You see, whatever a person will do in the next 10 years, there will be clues right now. When you see some of those red flags, there may be little things. Don't ignore them, because marriage is a multiplier. Marriage is a magnifier. No, it's just a small thing. Oh, no. It's because I raised my voice. That's why he pushed me. No. It's only going to get worse after marriage. I saw some statistics today, how that over 70% of people in abusive relationships knew that their spouses were abusive before they got married. Let me say that again. Over 70% of people in abusive relationships knew that their spouses were abusive before they got married. So waving some of these things away, hoping things will get better, okay, will not fix it. I'm trying to let you understand that it's not difficult to have a great marriage, because the difficult marriages we have, most of the time, they are our own making. But when the person is in pain already, the person is in a difficult, because it's insensitive. But it is the truth. So take responsibility, okay, for what you brought to pass, for what you helped in creating, and find a way out. Of course, this conversation is not exhaustive, but I believe that we have shared enough, especially for singles, to know exactly what to do. So let me stop there tonight. And then, of course, some other time, we will continue this conversation.